directed verdict 52C motion because their case was complete bullshit. So that's I aside from that, I write a lot. I run the Colorado Free Press. I write a column for the Colorado Glendale Cherry Creek Chronicle, and I do a lot of shows on Badlands, including the election denial show, Why We Vote, on Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with KinCon.
Can you guys give us just a little background on Badlands as well?
Sure. So Badlands was started by John Harold, and he had come together with this idea that the media, I'm assuming that the media is fake and gay, and it's a famous duo of words, trio, I guess, at Badlands. And
you don't have to mansplain fake and gay, Brian.
Oh, geez, here we go. So, he just got a bunch of people together that had kind of, a niche in certain fields and in certain things that they did. And, he got together and put all these people together, gave us a platform utilizing his Rumble platform, which had a decent following at the time. And, we all it's like kind of think of it as like a quote unquote news network or, network television, but using social media and Rumble as a platform instead of, the television. I don't know how else to explain it, but what he's
and the truth, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and I would
use the truth as a platform.
Yeah, one of the most important parts I think the most important parts of Badlands is that we're not owned by anybody. We're all individual. We're a co-op of citizen journalists, and our sponsors, the people that paid for advertising on Badlands, are all America-made small businesses. And so we, and if they decide that we say stuff that they don't want to support anymore, then we part ways amicably. But we have no corporate money. We have nobody directing what we report, what we say. We're literally getting together on our shows each week and trying to figure out what's true.
Can you guys drop links in the Purple Pill so people can find you when you get the opportunity? I want to make sure that you're followed and etc. and people are, exposed to Badlands Media if they haven't been. All right, so thank you both for being here and for that background. I know, Ash, you guys had a big to-do in July, and everything was pretty much debunked, and you were pro se, correct? Which means you represented yourself in the court of law.
That's right, in federal court, yep, in Colorado.
In federal court in Colorado. And so, as somebody who has now experienced the absolute life-wrecking experience of lawfare, how do you get back up on your feet?
So for me, once I realized that wearing me out was the goal, there was no way I was going to let them wear me out. And so in these cases like mine, Tina's case is a little bit different. I don't know if we're going to talk, because hers is a criminal case and it's brought by the government. But these lawfare cases brought by, there was Fair Fight versus True the Vote down in Georgia. There was a Gia's case up in Minnesota, I believe it was. The goal of the people bringing the cases is to get you to sign their consent decree. It's not to win the case. And so there's this, push in the media with the narrative of, for us, it was these, racists are sending armed voters to minorities' houses to intimidate them and encourage them not to vote, was essentially their claims about us. And it's an incredibly devastating thing. We learned we were being sued from a Washington Post reporter that called Holly for comment. We weren't I wasn't served for another 10 days, Holly not for another 14. Sean and I were served the same day, I think. And it's devastating, but then you're like, okay, I have rights. I'm going to fight this. They can't do this. This is all lies. I'm going to fight back. And then usually they go for a temporary restraining order. And oftentimes, there aren't many of these cases, but oftentimes they get the temporary restraining order. And then they do another round of headlines, right? And then your neighbors, your coworkers, your family is looking at you like, listen, you said this wasn't true, but a judge agreed with them and gave them a TRO. What's going on? And they wear you out such that eventually they come to you and they're like, listen, we'll all just go our separate ways. We'll agree to keep following the law. and sign this thing. Everybody bears their own costs, no big deal. And most people will sign it because it's incredibly oppressive and you just want it to go away. I can't tell you how many lawyers said to me, let's just make this go away. And so every time they do that, they generate a bunch of headlines and they raise a bunch of money. And from their standpoint, that's the goal. They get 3 rounds of headlines and fundraising off of one bogus case with no facts, and they wear you out so that you sign it. It took me a while to figure out that that was the goal. Once I did, there was nothing that would make me sign their thing. I said, nope, we're going to trial. You're going to have to bring your case in trial. And, at least in our case, and, in True the Vote prevailed in their case as well. Gia signed the consent decree. But at least in our case, there was no evidence. The judge said there is no evidence of anything even remotely intimidating about what's been presented. And so making them actually prove based on the facts, the evidence, and the law, taking the emotion out of it, taking the narrative out of it, let them do what they want in the press, because later you can go after them for abuse of process and defamation and all sorts of things. Making them prove their case, that was what really drove me. I kept looking to find how are they still going with this? Where is the evidence? It wasn't there. So then just, showing up in court and making the case, which was the most intimidating environment I've ever been in my life, but it turned out to be worth it.
It sounds like you handled it like a champ too, and I know CanCon, you covered that, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been talking with Ash for quite a while, following her and everything that was taking place in that, and she had asked if I would come out there and cover it, so of course I was more than willing, because federal courts, we still have a huge problem, as Ash will say, democracy dies in darkness, and nothing is more clear than the way our federal courts are handled, where there's no live stream, no audio for you to listen into. I was actually shocked that they allowed me to bring my cell phone in, because the federal courts I'd been in prior to that here in Florida and up in DC, they don't allow you to bring cell phones in. So I was like a giddy little kid when they let me bring. I was trying to live tweet it as best I could, and so I sat through that, absolutely shocked by some of the things I saw in Ash's trial, the weaponization of these NGOs. Colonel Smith flat out called him out on the stand. I absolutely love that. One of my favorite parts of the trial was him calling out the Marxism of these organizations. And so I was up there covering it, absolutely blown away, and amazingly, remarkably impressed and inspired by the diligence of Ash to learn this and to go against this head-to-head. Some of the best attorneys, as they'll have us believe, some of the better attorneys in our country right now, and Ash went up against them as a mom of 3 boys and a former corporate mom. That's what we'll call it.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, because the intimidation is real, and I just can't even imagine how disruptive that was for you and your family, Ash. So I'm glad you're coming out the other side of it. I know there's probably more lawsuits in the making, and I hope that that you win.
They appealed the ruling, so we're going to the 10th Circuit on it, and we're still fighting for them to have to pay the costs the court awarded and all kinds of stuff. So it's still going, but it's different. It's a different feeling to be on offense.
Yeah, I mean, and this could take more years, correct?
Oh, yeah, no, it certainly will when we consider the, abusive process litigation we plan to bring, potentially Voting Rights Act violations, because they admitted on the stand that their entire goal was to stop our completely lawful conduct and support and advocacy for President Trump. So there's much, much more to come.
So it's interesting. It's a position I've never considered, about how that lawfare is actually used to raise money. It's not something I have ever considered. Can you guys both talk about that? Like the headlines?
I'll go first. Yeah, so there's a really interesting article, and I'll find it here in a minute and put it in the pill, from New York University's Social Justice Law Review. I think it was written in 2015, but it basically goes through Section 11B of the Voting Rights Act is expansive, and when Congress passed it, they meant for citizens to be like mini AGs and go around prosecuting violations of the Voting Rights Act. And it's not cross-burning any longer. It is, things like Trump supporters knocking on doors. And so there's this novel theory of the law, and it's many of the civil rights laws, not just this one, but this is the one that I'm familiar with. And their goal in it says the goal is to stop the conduct. And in stopping the conduct, you have to use the media. And it says intentionally brand people with the KKK. It's a very embarrassing association, and they're not going to want that. It's going to make them more like this. It's basically a textbook, like a playbook for what they did to us in our case. And a big part of it is the benefits that you get along with that. You get the benefit of going out and saying, we're saving democracy. Look at us saving democracy. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. We're saving democracy. Give us money and help us keep saving democracy. It is the facts in this novel legal theory. The facts don't matter. It's about getting the headlines such that you can stop your political opponents from doing whatever they're doing, and also get a whole bunch of headlines, a whole bunch of press, raise a bunch of money, and be positioned and brand yourselves as saving democracy at other people's expense.
Wow. It never ceases to amaze me. So, every system feels weaponized at this point. What do you guys feel, and then we'll jump into some of the Tina Peters stuff, but I mean, as two independent journalists, do you guys think that the old corporate media house of cards is coming down?
Yeah, there's no question that the media is collapsing right now. Just the simple numbers out there in terms of viewership, the Nielsen ratings and all that, the numbers are coming down. We saw out in California last week that Google is now going to prop up these newsrooms in California with the state funding as well, which is, literally a combination of communism and fascism all mixed into one tight little ball. Where you have the big tech oligarchs funding your newsrooms. Because that's what we really want to get is Google's perspective on the news and making sure that they have, the ability to talk about it. But when you look at some of the events that have taken place now, so a lot of these platforms on social media, on Rumble, on YouTube, on X here, they're starting to co-stream a lot of these events and things, debates, the Elon Musk Trump interview. And you're seeing the numbers from these just absolutely exploding. Meanwhile, there was a report the other last week, I believe, comparing the RNC numbers to the DNC numbers and saying that, the DNC this year beat it by, I don't know, like 1 million viewers or something like that. But those numbers don't take into account the RNC that was being live streamed everywhere. On Badlands alone, I think we had 15 to 20,000 people watching the live streams that we were doing on there. And Badlands, we're a pretty big platform. I think we have like 180,000 followers, somewhere around there. But that's not taking into account the platforms like, Dan Bongino, like Patrick Bet-David, like Tim Pool. A lot of these platforms with million plus subscribers, they're pulling in, 50 to 200,000 viewers, and those numbers don't get factored into that. And we are absolutely seeing a transition to from the mainstream media. One of the things that's going to hinder us, or at least that has been exposed now as a hindrance to us, is what's called GARM, and that's this entity that is dealing with the advertising for news outlets and whatnot, and they're literally blackballing entities like Breitbart, like Gateway Pundit, like Epoch Times, these quote-unquote far-right conservative media outlets that, by the way, have been on the right side of almost every single issue going back to at least 2016 in the Russia hoax. So I definitely see a transition here, pulling away from the Mockingbird media, as I like to call it, the CIA-led propaganda machine that is network television and mainstream news like WAPO, New York Times, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and
Well,
I,
that sort of leaks into, sorry, Ash, it sort of leaks into Hollywood as well and everything we consume, right?
yeah, I think it certainly does. I was just going to add to what Brian said about the numbers. So the corporate press has enjoyed the institutional credibility because of public trust. There was public trust that they were going to be reporting the news, and there isn't any longer. And we know there isn't any longer because of the numbers. So when you look at the numbers of corporate press, Fox News used to dominate. Now they're in between MSNBC and CNN on the regular, and that happened when they let go of Tucker Carlson. People are desperate for truth and for the real story, not just the corporate talking points. When you look at the numbers, prior to letting go of Tucker Carlson, Fox News was enjoying like 2 to 4 million viewers in a primetime slot per show. And that's live plus same day. So it's live viewers watching live plus same day, your 24-hour tail times 1,000. And they multiply it times 1,000 to account for streaming and all of the other ways that people are watching. And so you've got 2 to 4 million people that's live plus same day times 1,000. And then when they got rid of Tucker Carlson, that dropped to between 1 and 2 million. CNN is consistently under a million. MSNBC comes in right around the Fox numbers, and they kind of toggle for who's in first place now. But when you consider that live plus same day viewers times 1,000 is only giving them 1 to 2 million viewers in their primetime, most expensive, most highly produced slots, nobody's watching any longer. There's 350 million plus Americans, and nobody's watching the mainstream press.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that, on Badlands Daily, I make it a point anytime that we see, one of these mass layoffs to bring that up, and it happens just all the time, whether it's ABC News, who's playing musical chairs with their president, CNN, same thing. CNN tried to go as far as starting their own, podcasting platform that was, I think it was broken up in like less than 6 months, it dissolved. And you brought up Tucker. Same thing with Tucker. Tucker had that mainstream Tucker Live Tonight or whatever, Tucker Tonight. And he's just infinitely more popular and with more reach now that he's almost exclusive to his own platform, his own website, and X. Just the reach it's not even comparable. So yeah, that there's just evidence all over that we are absolutely crushing the mainstream media for such a small and direct market that we're dealing with.
Such great news. I love to hear it. And I can't wait
Yeah,
for the
comparison, Ash. So like Brian talked about like our numbers at Badlands, right? Like we had 15,000 people watching live. Well, that accounts for Rumble, right? We also had people watching on Twitter. We also had people watching on Pilled.net and other locations. So the alt media, the new media numbers are suppressed, right? That we're undercounting the numbers, and the mainstream media is way overcounting the numbers. That comparison is pretty encouraging.
Yeah, I love that. That's such great news. Well, you guys keep up the great work, and I'm so glad that there's people out there doing the work, because I know it can't be easy. I mean, I'm sure beside lawfare, there's just, can you guys explain anything that's happening to you personally because you speak the truth on such big platforms?
Well, besides what Ash just brought up about her personal experience, I've been extremely fortunate, I somehow, that I haven't been messed with. I've, knock on wood, I try and do the best I can to be absolutely 100%, honest, factual in what I report. And so that makes it a little bit more difficult to be a target. I take the spin and the propaganda out of my journalism. And so
Imagine that.
Yeah, right. That makes me a more difficult target, I guess. But and I've been writing on all the hot topics. I've been writing on Dominion. I've been writing on the J6ers and covering J6 trials and cases. And knock on wood, nothing's happened to me yet. So I hope it stays that way.
We do too, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about Tina Peters. She's a former Mesa County clerk, well known for making forensic images of her county's Dominion voting tabulators before the Trusted Build. She was on trial a couple weeks ago. Let's talk a little bit about what you saw. Ash, I don't know, were you there at the Tina Peters trial?
No, we streamed it. Brian and I streamed everything except for the very first day where they did jury selection and opening arguments. We didn't stream that day, but we streamed the rest of the trial. So I watched all of it, but I wasn't there.
So tell us a little bit about your experience watching this trial. Many of us were not there or did not stream. I mean, I'm guessing weaponized all the way through from start to finish, or tell us a little bit.
So the inception of the case is Tina Peters taking the images. This news broke at the Cyber Symposium. Her office was raided while she was on Mike's plane on the way to the Cyber Symposium, and it really became a focal point of the Cyber Symposium. My experience, because I was there, was that was unplanned. It was something that kind of happened organically, and the state, however, took the position that Tina Peters took the images because of the social credit and like internet famous pomp and circumstance that she was going to get at the Cyber Symposium. That's the theory of benefit harm for her actions that the state put forward in the case. She had 10 charges. So there were 7 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. She was convicted on 4 felonies and 3 misdemeanors. The charges relating to identity theft and criminal impersonation and conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation, he was acquitted on. Those came down. So what it really comes down to is in 2021, Jenna Griswold enacted emergency COVID rules. And as part of that, when they were doing the software update, the Trusted Build, he limited who could be in the room, how many people wouldn't be open to the public, had to be an employee. And so Tina Peters wanted to have a technical expert there to observe the Trusted Build. And so she took actions to make that happen. That is a violation of COVID rules. But they turned it into felonies by basically piecing together a whole bunch of rule violations with parts of the criminal code and presenting kind of a novel criminal theory of their case. The trial was frustrating because I'm the kind of person that is never going to, on day one, attack the judge and say that everything is rigged. But I really was
It's pronounced Toira.
It is Moira.
Like my like.
It's not Arabic, so it is Moira.
Oh, Tim, can you play the recording for Adrian of Elon and Ethan?
But Amina's a really good
pay up, motherfucker.
It's like a name that means integrity, trustworthy, honest.
I have a friend whose name is Amin.
Yeah, I mean trustworthy.
Nora, do you go in the sauna in that getup? Or do you just fight with the Fremen against the Harkonnen in that getup? Sorry, what are you wearing exactly? You look like a sexy Muslima.
I mean, my name used to be Sexy Hijabi on the side.
I think you know what I really...
spell Moira?
M-O-I-R-A.
Have you seen those, like...
It just sounds elegant to me, Tim. Maybe you don't like it, but
Dude, I only know old people and a village called it. That's like.
What does Moira mean, Diego?
It's
I
Irish,
don't
right?
know.
It's like the English version of.
It's a little bit like more of ya.
You're just such a
Surely there must be some kind of Russian version of that video.
Debbie. What about
We
Debbie?
need to watch some telenovelas, Diego, and get some ideas from there. I'm sure that you will.
Well, we have to get. Well, it has to be 4 names.
But I think you need to go for classy. Classy, feminine, and yeah. So I am going to stay with Sofia or Ana Sofia or Beatriz. Beatriz is beautiful. Ana Beatriz.
I'm telling you, one of the most like cute girls I ever met in my life. Her name was
No,
Beatriz.
dude, you cannot do that to your daughter. I mean, do you really want to think of the boobs and the butts that you like when you?
No, I wasn't talking about sexy. I was just talking about
She said cute.
a cute, wholesome girl in Spain, and her name was Beatriz.
Yeah, Beatrices are very beautiful, actually.
That's a rough name.
I imagine a
Well,
Beatriz
it's rough in
with...
English. Beatrix. That's
No.
Yeah, Patrice is also a name.
No, Beatriz is really, really nice. And it's classy and it's feminine. But it's also strong, you know? So it's the
Yeah,
right
it's
combination.
too strong, right? Elizabeth
it's
is a
not
strong name.
It is
Right.
very feminine. It is very elegant, and it has some strength in it.
Yeah, it's boss ass bitch. That's the thing. It's like you want her to be a boss
No,
ass bitch.
dude, no.
No, she's gonna be a grow up to be a fucking feminist, bro.
Oh my God, Beatriz is far from feminist. That's a very classic name. What do you know? You're an Irishman.
I live in the fucking developed world. That's what the fuck.
it's barely developed now. I've been seeing the videos on Telegram.
Yeah, we're burning the motherfucking place down. Tell me, like,
They're isolated over there. They have names like
I'm a fucking
Imogen,
man of the fucking world.
and all these
Welsh name. What do you
weird names. I don't know.
Imogen is a very soft name, like Chloe.
No. Imogen.
What are you talking about? You know nothing.
Imogen is not. It's not soft and it's not feminine.
Of course it's soft.
Wait, what's this?
How is it? Is it masculine?
Imogen.
What's the masculine equivalent of Imogen?
That's not soft.
I will write it in the chat. It's horrible. Imogen.
Just
Sounds like
Google
Emily.
Imogen. Look at
Yeah, imagine. So these
Google
guys
Imogen,
that think
right?
that the
I guarantee you
Imogen-
most of the women are
The
pretty.
guy that thinks that
Imogen
Imogen
is a
is
very
a
rough
soft name, he's telling you that Beatriz is feminist. This is
You're
ridiculous.
just up in your fucking knickers because you probably fucking know someone called it. I'm not even defending Imogen. You just brought this shit up out of nowhere.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
predominantly,
I
don't know, it's a Welsh
think
name.
it's another one that is Irish. Wait, Aisling.
That's a rough.
Ashley. They write it like that.
It's not Ash.
And Sinead.
I'm not sure.
Sayonara. The last 3 names I wrote in the chat are Irish. So you cannot say.
That's not how you spell shit.
What about Sophia Sabrine? What
You
about
don't even know how to
Sophia?
fucking
Okay,
spell.
so write it for me. So these names, if you're taking advice from someone that is surrounded by this type of name,
Again, I'll repeat it. You weren't here. My grandparents were called Renee, George, Charlotte, Charles, Royal names.
yeah, Charlotte and Charles,
Don't you like the name Irene, Isa?
Irene.
Irene.
Yeah, Irene in Spanish, yeah, Irene in English, no. Irene,
Irene, that's very
yeah, Irene, I like it.
Yeah, Pauline.
No,
So
Paulina,
Diego-
no.
Diego, will you keep, if you choose a name like that, will you anglicize it or will you want them to say it the way they say it?
I'm forced to anglicize these things, although I don't practice the anglicizing at home.
Gotcha.
No, but you should.
Yeah, when they've been terminology, you have to get serious with them. You tell them
Irene is very beautiful and also very, very feminine and very classy.
Yeah, I like. How about Sophia?
Hey Tim, just to understand, is that to emulate what would happen if you got in trouble with the law? Is that why you tell me their full legal name?
I don't know, but like listen to me, like the severity of how much trouble you were in would determine like whether I would be called. I'm always been just referred to as Tim, but I will get Timothy if it's serious. But I will get my first name and my surname if I'm in somewhat a lot of trouble. But I will get my full legal name with my middle name, right? If I am like in shit, right? You know, I will not completely dox myself, right? But like, if I get my full name, I'm like, you know, you're fucked. Like,
Yeah, I think I know your full name.
What about Matt?
I think that's psychological to prepare you for like not wanting to
in
be
front of the court.
That is how my mom was because like so
But it's just
my name is
instinctive, right? It's just,
yeah my name is Gloria Isabel, right? But when I was a little girl, my mom would married and she would call me Gloria Bell. And so it's Gloria Bell, Gloria Bell, Gloria Bell. When she was upset, she would be like, Gloria Isabel! I thought you could call me here. And when she would use my whole name, including my last name, my two last names, then I knew that was gonna be bad.
That's so crazy. You're gonna just get called. What about like
Elena.
Magdalena?
I like that name.
It's very pretty.
It's pretty, but it's like cheap pretty.
It has a connotation in Spanish,
What's the connotation?
like slutty.
Really?
No, that's not true, Joey.
That's true.
Or Magdalena?
No,
No, because there's a
Magdalena is
food.
normal.
It's a food. So it's actually like a, right?
Let's eat it. Oh, there you go.
Magdalena. ¿Quieres un poquito de Magdalena?
Yes, I do. Don't mind if I do.
You cannot make me laugh.
Also, there was that movie with the Italian movie, right? With Maria, or what's her name? Bellucci, Monica Bellucci.
Monica. I know, not Monica.
Oh.
Monica Kaka.
Oh, that's what my dad wants. My dad wants Matilde. The German.
I like that movie.
it's old fashioned, but it does sound a bit. It's like because of the. There's the. It does seem like it's old fashioned, but it's a child.
I remember the cake.
Like an old person.
Sofia Matilda.
Wow.
Is
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
Matilda. Not
Not
bad,
a big fan of that with the name.
what's my great grandmother's name?
but Rocio.
Well, that's important, I think, as well.
Rocio is also nice.
I would very much look forward
what was your great grandma?
I'm not crazy about it.
my grandfather.
Don't you like Rocio?
I'm not crazy about it. Well, how would you say it in English? I don't understand. I can't.
Rocio. That's the thing that
Rose?
we have to adapt.
Yeah, Rose.
No.
Rosie.
No, Rose is Rosa.
What's the other name?
Yeah, like Rocio Ricci, no?
If you had to choose a name, well, wait a second. Since you said that, in English, it's not a good convention to name the first name and the last name with the same letter, right? But my question is, if you had to name them after a flower, Lisa, what flowers would be your favorite names?
No, that's
These are beautiful flowers.
Liliana.
Liliana, yeah.
That's better?
Yeah, but it still sounds a little bit like a bolera.
Can you think of any other ones?
And is
Obviously.
Let me think.
Rosa is too cheap for you, right?
No, Rosa reminds me to Rosa Salvaje.
why are you thinking Isabella? Liliana and not really pretty.
Isabella, Liliana, Isabella.
No, I mean like it would be very similar names. In my brain at least.
any flower, Isabel.
Um,
You don't even know flower name, right?
yeah, Diana.
Orquídea, oh my god.
Okay, y ahora le hablas Prophet Touches.
What, Diego, what do you think of Huerta?
I don't know what that is. Well, Flora is a name, right? Isa?
Gloria, but that, I don't like it. You could also be Flora, Azucena,
Azucena?
Margarita. Yeah,
Yasmina.
No, Margarita. That means pearl, perla.
No. Margarita
You
is
know.
a flower. No.
Oh, it's a marigold.
Yeah. Violeta, Dahlia.
Are you against that name, Tim? Marigold?
Yeah, marigolds are a brand of like the gloves that you wear when you do the washing.
Oh, here is one. Edie.
You know, like the rubber gloves that like, you know, a housewife wears when she's doing the washing up. They're like they go halfway to your elbow, like big called marigold.
What do you think of Dania, Diego?
Dania?
Dania.
That, I probably called her that. Yeah, that.
Edie.
I knew it needed one.
Dahlia.
A friend of mine just named his kid Aurora. I told him, like, so she's not going to be able to pronounce her name for many years.
Aurora is beautiful. Aurora, like Prince or Princess Aurora.
So why do you not just name
like
her
life.
after
Magnolia, Hortensia. Oh, Begonia. Begonia is a nice one.
I think Yasmina.
Begonia is a Spanish one also used. And it's also kind of classic. Begonia.
Asteria.
Bugambilia. Ah.
No. Dude, I don't know. I vote for Anastasia or Beatriz. Ana Beatriz. I really like her. In fact, I think I called my baby puppet. How do you say, like my doll, my baby
Is
doll?
the jury
I called
instructions
her-
that happen at the end of the day, right? They turn the cameras off, and there's a long debate and stuff that goes on in the courtroom. And luckily, after I
Okay, this is CEO and Dr. Adrian Tillman. Welcome.
whether you're innocent or guilty. And they were kept in the dark on a lot of things, one-sided, and it's just the hours that back and forth went on with Tina's attorneys trying to get things moved forward, and the judge basically arguing like he was the prosecution on why they should. And her case, in the 2 days that I sat in that courthouse, was the last case that was in the courthouse, because they had a big lighted board on the outside with all the case numbers in the hallway. But boom, in the last day, they actually flashed the lights. We were like the last ones in the courthouse. It was like last call. But the jury instruction portion was so manipulated. She totally unfair trial. And that thing just totally really wiped me out listening to it, because it was just insane how they basically hog-tied the defense attorneys, right? And the judges wanted things to go the way he wanted them to go.
All right, I can't see Ash, so if she's in here, can you have her make a request, Ash? Because I don't see you in here.
Yeah, she said she requested, but I'm looking too, and I don't see her either.
Yeah, there's these always have some glitches. So if you see your
Don't wait for outside.
all right, go ahead, Manticore.
Hi guys, just a couple quick questions. What is, and if there is a chance for a mistrial on this based on some of the things I'm hearing? And the other one, I just want to kind of forewarn everyone, I've been bouncing around in X Spaces since Kennedy announced last weekend the endorsement of Trump. The infiltrators are coming out in force. They
popular?
My middle name's Emilio.
Emilio, is it really?
Esteves?
Is it?
Emilio, yeah.
I
It's
have
Luis Emilio Sergiacomo.
a friend with that name,
Never been able to spell
but
it.
in Spanish. Luis Emilio.
Luis Emilio.
But yeah, like there you go.
But it's
Emilio
like one
Esteves. Like
friend, yeah.
the reason that they choose their
Funny.
sheep, right, for a fucking reason. You know what I mean?
Luisa.
Well, mine's spelled with an A.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, see, the thing about it is that
Charlie and Mark.
Martin Sheen, I think his whole thing was that he knew that he didn't come across as Latino, so he wanted the access to other roles. They had to do it. It's like a
Martina.
Yeah, but like, so his son Charlie just does the exact same thing.
What?
Charlie's name is Carlos.
Mark Sheen and Charlie Sheen, father and son. Their real surname is Esteves, right? So he has a brother, Charlie Sheen, and Mark Sheen's other son is called Emilio Esteves.
Emilio Esteves, yeah.
Right?
I
Mark
Sheen's real name is
know
Ramon.
that.
His name is Ramon.
So he chose to maintain the family name, and the rest of them.
Ramon.
Yeah.
Ramona. Ramona is
Did you
That
see
was
this?
another grandmother's name.
Did you see this viral video by Klaus Arminius where the Spanish government is flying in thousands of African migrants and they shut the airport down exclusively for the African migrants to fly in?
Hey, John, what's your Jewish name? What's your real name?
No, my legal name was John Zachary. Last name was Kitover.
No, but I want the Jewish name.
I don't have a Jewish name. The Jewish name that based on John, I believe it's Yonatan.
What did you say? John what?
Zachary.
Zachary. I like Zachary. I really like
I was upset. I asked my mom, "How did you choose Zachary?" She said he was my favorite soap opera star, and I was crushed. I was like, ooh.
Every time she calls you Zachary, she's thinking of.
No, she doesn't.
That's
She.
no meaning.
Okay, so you know another way
No,
that
there is
people.
meaning.
Hold on, another
Like, could
another
you ever
way
date
that
a
people
girl after
would
only
name their
dating another
sons
girl?
and daughters. Oh God. No,
Amazing.
like
This is in your room, and you see.
I know, but I was talking.
Amazing.
Another way of people naming
I know, but then I just
daughters
keep
and their
talking.
sons Diego
Oh,
is by the calendar, by the date of the calendar
Wait, say it again.
when they're born.
Oh, like, okay, like,
Yeah, in the calendar, in the Catholic calendar, we have a saint name in each day, and so whenever your child was born, you give that name.
But life begins at conception. Why wait till that point?
speaking of saints, is there anything about that? Or...
No.
I saw a video yesterday on X of a Planned Parenthood abortion where they were harvesting organs from an actual fetus, and I was like, I immediately had to scroll away because I was like, I didn't want to retain that image in my head for long. So I was like, I cannot believe that X is permitting that. But then when you think about it, it's like that's happening every day throughout the country by the hundreds, most likely.
That's right. Diego, Estefania.
Yeah, I know it.
Estefania, not Stephanie.
Yeah, it's Stephanie.
They're not saying the size?
Stephanie, yeah. And also in German
Was it with Lou? Who was asking me about like?
Catalina.
No, it wasn't me.
Someone was asking. Catherine, is there not? What's the Spanish?
Yeah, women.
Yeah, Catherine is Catalina. Or
Or Katrina.
Winemaker.
Hurricane.
My friend Rania, her name was Katia.
Katia is nice.
To me, that sounds cheap.
Or Estefania.
It sounds like some like Russian villain, sidekick. Yeah.
Mortal
Get to the
Kombat.
chopper,
That
yeah.
character in Mortal Kombat, that was really that girl in Mortal Kombat that I used to always choose. But what's it called? What of all the names that you've heard, Diego, which ones are you leaning more towards?
I like Jesus Ana Sofia.
I came up with Sophia.
So, Anna, Sophia.
Ana Sofia.
I
Sounds like a different name.
hate the list.
It's not two names.
Isn't that a song at the end of Step Brothers?
God.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's something.
Oh, who's versus Dominic?
No. I think you mean it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. That's what you're talking about. It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. That's the name of the island.
Ana Sofia.
The island of Catalina. Well, why don't you guys like names like why don't you guys like classic names like Dorothy or
Dorothy?
Sounds like an old hat.
Dorothy? Don't you have that name in Ireland?
Yeah, like your fucking grandmother's friend at the bowling club.
Why don't you like classic names, Tim? I don't get it.
But there's classic names and there's old people names, Like if I was to tell you Renee, that's a classic name, but it's not an old person. Like there are still young people called Renee. And I don't know, like Lorena's a good.
No,
Hey,
no, no.
have you heard of this singer named Facundo Cabral?
It's lovely.
Yes, Lorena is not.
Lorena Bobbitt. Lorena Bobbitt, she cut it off.
You know what a fucking.
Beatriz, Ana Beatriz, or Ana
Everyone strives for gold. But what does your personal gold look like? How do you get it?
Yes, pretty.
Primaveras, canzó de pero que cualquier espere de la ternura. Para que comience a cantar, dice el gaucho de la pampa donde comience a cantar, que cuando el caballo de uno no lo tenemos que atar, que cuando el caballo es de uno no lo tenemos que atar. Si la tenés que cuidar tanto, todavía no es tu mujer. Una tarde mexicana me dijo Laura Esquivel. Una tarde mexicana me dijo Laura Esquivel. A la mesa y a la cama solo se llama una vez. A la mesa y a la cama solo se llama una vez. Tenés que estar atento porque por ahí te quedás afuera de la fiesta. En la Sierra Tarahumara a una niña le escuché. En la Sierra Tarahumara a una niña le escuché. ¿Pa' qué voy a tener hambre si no tengo que comer? ¿Pa' qué voy a tener hambre si no tengo que comer?
Wow, I didn't get kicked. The discipline of this room. Truly no fucks given. Mazel tov, everyone. Mazel tov. Ooh, Aunt Jemima. Really liking that PTR. Holy shit, your profile's awesome. Aunt Jemima pancakes. That's fucking. You got your own fucking brand. no permanent bans though. That's the thing. It's just they just delete you. You get a new burner, and that's it. Could you imagine an automated algorithm of banning based on voice recognition patterns? Like this app isn't even there because fucking Paul and Kevin or whoever the faggots are that run this app, they don't give a fuck. They'll just delete you and call it a day. They can give two fucks.
Well, that's why I became around my app. Because I looked at that before. And it worked. Especially with the current events, I feel like it's easier to get banned.
Well, sometimes Jewish Clubhouse they come together and say make sure you ban red light.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, but I mean, look who's winning the war.
Me, obviously, I think. I think it's me. You have to be a strategic long-term thinker. You can lose battles, just don't lose the war.
Are you here?
So is anybody planning on buying real estate this year or next year to live in or an investment property?
No, I saw that the price are at ultimate highs.
Probably I will, but I don't think I'm gonna live in it though.
I mean,
I do want to get a new rental one.
Canada is at a high risk of having that bubble pop.
But
I would say 2 years.
Yeah, I can't say.
That's, you do know that I played billiards in one of the years.
That's right.
I heard that you were a cuck. That's what I heard.
Hey, Abby. Ja. Het is te goed, dus doe het bij.
That's Keegan.
Hey. What's up?
A happy place
How you are?
in many colors. What is you feeling?
And by the way, do you know
Why Mexicans appropriate Ethiopian culture in Persian culture? So yeah, now.
There's nothing called by the culture. That's the problem.
I heard your wife was appropriating my culture.
Well, I can wear the handshake with you. You can't wear the handshake.
those communists, they kicked me out.
Those fucking communists. Who are you, Danny?
Right now, I'm cosplaying as Caitlyn Jenner.
No, man, in the real world.
You know, just a nobody.
Why do you say that? That can't be true.
That's the way I like it.
Well, if you're talking to me and you call yourself a nobody, I take that personally as a fucking insult, you little piece of trash. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, coaches, consultants, and experts, stop relying on Facebook to find clients. It's crowded, the targeting's been all jacked up by the iOS updates, and if you're using organic methods, you end up spending all your time coming up with new content ideas, posting for hours a day, and for your trouble, you get virtually zero reach. What you need to do is start using YouTube instead if you're not already. If you are not using YouTube for your coaching business to attract clients to you, I've got a free workshop coming up today and tomorrow that you can register for on the next page, and it shows you exactly how to use YouTube combined with a simple 4-step funnel that turns total strangers into high-paying clients within 48 hours or less. So if you're ready to just grab that workshop and dive right in, you can click the link that you see on or around this video right now. But if you're still a little unsure as to why I say that YouTube is such a superior traffic source for coaches, consultants, and experts, let me tell you 5 reasons why right now. Number 1, Google owns YouTube, which means the targeting is much more precise, and really it's almost unaffected by the iOS restrictions. Number 2, video ads create a ton of trust.
What is your concern, Ambassador? We understand you've arrested suspects smuggling subversive films. Once produced by the so-called man in the High Castle before his death. We've heard rumors the man in the High Castle is still alive. No, he's dead. We've known for some months.
Adrian, fuck your daddy,
bitch. Was the films they were smuggling.
Suck it.
A woman. Oberführer deals. What else do you wish to know? We assume she fled to the neutral zone. We need to know where, precisely. The Führer has decreed these films be confiscated. Let me speak plainly, Tegumi-san. If you don't find this woman, we will. Duly acknowledged, Ambassador. Respectfully, gentlemen. Please be aware. We're on Japanese soil. We recognize the sovereignties of the Pacific States, Minister. But this is a matter of state security. Good day, gentlemen.
Chris Hemsworth underwent
For anyone struggling with high blood sugar, do not drink cold water. Did you know type 2 diabetes?
Dementus commend you on your lifestyle and for agreeing to these trade negotiations. If we're not back safe by sunset, we blow up Gastown. This is how you save Gastown. And the six-figure code exists only in the brain of Dementus. He wants double of everything. One full tank of water and half a tank of gasoline. Can't do that, not possible.
Then he gets a spike in the nut.
Double the mother's milk and double the hydroponics. Double the spice. Double the mac and mash and the rose gruel. My boys need all the protein they can get. Please, give him what he wants. The wasteland won't sustain it. Run the numbers. Please, my boy. My brother.
I got him mine. Can't hold this much longer.
Let's rip this to it, Dad. I'll squeeze the code out there.
Here, take it.
Oh, you idiot. I forgot the numbers.
The pleasure flushed them clean out of my head. I'll never do that again, comrades. I'm a man with a fragile brain.
Who's that?
That is my daughter, Little D. Little Dementus.
She looks nothing like you.
Yes, well, she has her mother's perfections and none of my deficiencies.
What is the mother?
Magnificent woman. Fierce, intelligent, taken so cruelly protecting this little one from marauders.
She looks pale.
You look pale. She's perfect. Not like the genetic absurdities you have for sons.
She's pale because I take her blood for blood pudding that I prepare for him. And who are you? Well, I'm the organic mechanic. All things therapeutic. Now, make no mistake, she is a full life, untouched by man or disease. Would you like to stay here in the Citadel? If I let you stay and you grow to become a strong, healthy woman, you could become one of our wives.
No, she's my daughter.
It will be a royal intermarriage, the bonding of dynasties.
Her whole life I've protected her. From the sun, the wind, every lecherous gaze, no.
You'll be bonded by blood.
No, she's not for sale, she's mine.
What say you, child?
She hasn't spoken since her mother's tragic end. Very poignant.
Is he your father?
No. He slaughtered my mother.
True, that is true. And I can tell you it made this child tough enough to survive all sorrows that may come her way. I did that for her.
I did that for her. I will increase your shipment of water, but only by a third. I will increase your food by a quarter, potatoes only. You'll get your delivery once every 10 days, but only if my war rigs return safely full of high-grade gasoline.
Deal.
And I will take this girl who is not your daughter, and also him. Otherwise, it's war.
treachery, it will be as impenetrable as this citadel. Stability born from a world of chaos. You, me, we.
Henceforth, I will be addressed as the Great Dementus, beloved ruler of Bikerdom, Lord Guardian of Gastown. Gotta go, everyone Gastown to go, boom. What a day, what a deal, what a day.
You, Playboys, big Dementus.
Okay, forget Chris Hemsworth was... Attention.
Patience! Now you stay here with your grief, Daddy. I'll fetch him for you. Be careful! Protect the assets! Just one angry shot. Furiosa! after the gate!
You don't want to wear those little tiny heels? Fine, whatever. That's not a big deal. Both of y'all can.
I think that for the general public, let it real deal Holyfield of them being unlike. But as far as the debate, no, you don't get to walk in there with a spreadsheet. That's no.
When he was gonna go against Biden, they kept saying the mics have to be, the mics have to be. We're not gonna allow what happened last time. The mics have to be. You know what? It's okay, fine. And it breaks down